Costco sold over 245 million hot dogs last year and lost money on almost every single one. $1.50 for a hot dog and a soda, the same price it's been for 40 years. That $5 rotisserie chicken? Costco loses money on that too, tens of millions of dollars a year, on purpose. Here's the part nobody tells you. Costco doesn't really want to make money selling you food at all. The food is bait. The actual business, the thing that prints the profit, is something you pay before you even walk through the door. And once you see how it works, you'll understand why Costco might be the most quietly brilliant store in America. Let's start with that hot dog. $1.50 since 1985. Inflation should have pushed it past $4 by now. The CEO has flat out said the price will never change. Why would a company plant its flag on losing money for 40 years? Because the hot dog isn't a product, it's a promise. It tells your brain one thing every time you see it: this place is on your side. And a store that's on your side is a store you trust with your wallet. Now look at how Costco prices everything else, because this is where it gets strange. Most stores mark things up as high as you'll tolerate. A grocery store might add 40 or 50% on top of what it paid. A clothing chain, sometimes double or triple. Costco does the opposite. It has a hard rule. Nothing gets marked up more than 14% over cost. For its own Kirkland brand, 15. If a buyer finds a way to sell something cheaper, the price drops every time. Most retailers would call that leaving money on the table. Costco calls it the whole strategy. So sit with the puzzle. A store that loses money on its most famous food. A store that caps its own profit on everything else. A store practically allergic to charging you more. How is this one of the most successful retailers on earth? Because you've been looking at the wrong number the entire time. Here's how the machine actually works. Walk through what really happens when you shop at Costco. Before you buy a single thing, you've already paid. The membership. $65 a year for the basic card, $130 for the upgraded one. That fee is the real product. Everything inside, the cheap gas, the giant tubs of pretzels, the loss leader chicken, exists to make that fee feel worth renewing. And now, the number that explains the entire company. Last year, Costco collected about $5.3 billion in membership fees. Just fees. Money for nothing but the right to shop. That same year, the company's total operating profit was around $10.4 billion. Do the math. More than half of Costco's profit came from membership fees alone. Read that again. The mountains of food, the electronics, the tires, the rotisserie chickens, all that merchandise, hundreds of billions of dollars of it, nets almost nothing. The profit is the card in your wallet. This is a completely different machine than it looks like from the parking lot. It looks like a store. It behaves like a club that happens to have a warehouse attached. And once you see that, every weird thing about Costco suddenly makes sense. Why mark up the food? You don't need to. You already paid. The cheaper Costco sells everything, the more obviously worth it your membership feels, the more likely you are to pay that fee again next year. Low prices aren't generosity. They're customer retention. They're how Costco keeps you paying the only price that actually matters. And it works almost unbelievably well. About 90% of members worldwide renew their membership every year. In the United States and Canada, it's closer to 93%. There are over 147 million cardholders out there. Think about that loyalty for a second. 9 out of 10 people every year look at that fee and decide, yeah, still worth it. Most subscriptions in your life would kill for those numbers. If you find it satisfying to have the real business model pulled out from behind the curtain like this, that's the entire point of this channel. One everyday thing decoded every single week. So that's the secret engine. Now, let's talk about what it actually means for you, standing in that warehouse with a cart the size of a small car. First, understand what the layout is doing. The $5 chicken is parked at the very back of the store, always. That's not an accident. To grab your lost leaderbird, you have to walk past thousands of things Costco would love to sell you: the seasonal jackets, the 4-pound bag of trail mix, the patio set you did not come in for. The cheap stuff in the back is a magnet, and you are walking through a maze of temptation to reach it. The free samples do the same job. They're not snacks, they're soft little nudges that turn a quick trip into a slow, hungry wander. Second, that 14% cap is real, and it can genuinely save you money, but only on the things you were actually going to buy. The danger of Costco was never the price per item. It's the size of the cart. A great deal on something you didn't need is not a deal. It's just a slightly more efficient way to spend money. The store is engineered to make you feel like you're winning on every item, because when each thing feels like a win, you stop noticing the total at the bottom. So here's how to actually beat the machine. And it's simple. The math is in your favor only if you use it. Costco's whole model assumes you'll shop enough to make that fee pay for itself in savings. So once a year, just check. Roughly how much did you save versus a normal store? And did it clear the cost of your membership? If yes, you're genuinely on the winning side of this deal, and the food really is a bargain. If you went 4 times all year and bought a TV you'd have bought anyway, the membership quietly cost you money. That's it. That's the whole test. No fear, no doom. Just one honest look at whether the club is working for you or you're working for the club. And here's the part I find almost beautiful. Costco isn't tricking you, not really. It told you the deal up front, pay the fee, and we will genuinely, relentlessly try to give you the lowest prices we can, because your renewal is how we eat. Their incentives and yours are pointed in the same direction, which is shockingly rare in retail. The $1.50 hot dog isn't a loss. It's the cheapest, most effective billboard in the history of business. And it's been working on you for 40 years. So the next time you're standing in that warehouse holding a $5 chicken that cost the company money, remember what you're really looking at. You're not the customer browsing the store. You already bought the only thing Costco truly sells. Everything past the entrance is just the company keeping its promise, so you'll pay the fee again next year. That's the magic trick, hiding in plain sight behind a hot dog. If you want one everyday thing decoded like this every week, the receipt, the rent, the subscription you forgot you had, subscribe. And Penny will be right here. And if you want to see another store run an even sneakier version of this exact playbook, go watch how the dollar store quietly charges you more, not less. It's the same trick turned completely upside down.